My goal is to help businesses, companies understand what the underlying factor is behind what they do. Why is it that they do it? Here's where a lot of us go wrong. We may have that thing, but we go about telling people and not showing them. There is a disconnect between giving information and showing the information. The difference is when we tell people the message that we want to give them, we are saying, here is information, put it into context within your own life, and see if it's something that you want to hold on to. By showing, it's giving information in context. There's a book called Unlimited Memory. It says the greatest secret to having a powerful memory is bringing information to life with your endless imagination. If you had to remember the word hydrogen, you could picture a fire hydrant drinking gin. You can transform all complex information into something meaningful and memorable by turning it into images. That takes time. That takes a process. That takes information coming in and putting it into context so your brain can remember it. That's why you want to take that information you want to give your viewers, you place it into context so their brain can easily digest the information you're trying to give them. The story you create has to tap into their story so they feel why the fact, the product, the cause matters to them. Do that and you can change more than minds. You can change lives, even save them. By putting it into context, you're allowing your viewer to step into the story, see what you're trying to show them from a perspective that otherwise they would never understand. That's all because you are showing and not telling them. If you want to see change in the world, if you want to make an impact, you can't tell people to change. They won't change. You have to show them, because the only way people change is by voluntarily changing. When we have a brilliant idea, instead of making others think it was ours, why not let them cook and stir the idea themselves? They will then regard it as their own. They will like it and maybe eat a couple helpings of it. We can't tell people to change. It has to be their choice. After all, even the most rational, objective pitch to change your behavior still tactically implies you're doing something wrong in the first place. Why else would you need to change? Plus, who wants to be told what they should be doing? People don't change because you tell them to. You gotta wanna. So how do we go about showing and not telling people? There's a book called Invisible Ink, where there are 3 tools that I want to give you as ways that we can show information without having to tell it. The first one is called clones. Clones are characters in your story that represent what could, should, or might happen to the protagonist if he or she takes a particular path. 2 of the 3 pigs are clones. It is the failure of the first 2 pigs that allows us to measure the success of the last pig. I want to wake people up. Having one character make a decision to wake up and have another character not make a decision to wake up, what happens? I don't have to tell them. I'm going to show them through what happens with these characters. The one that shows what life looks like when they decide to wake up is constantly battling this new introduction of a new reality into their life. They're constantly battling it. This person is no longer ignorant to the fact that they're asleep in this area of their life. They're not battling it though. They continue to try and run away from it. This character continues to strive and become something more than what they ever thought they could become. This character continues to try and forget it. Simply by showing how a difference in decision creates a different scenario for 2 different characters allows you to show the feeling and the emotion and the outcome that allows the viewer to feel what you're trying to tell them. It's just making it more digestible for their brain to take it in and more susceptible to making voluntary change, because it's not my idea that I'm giving them. It's their idea based on what I am presenting. Next tool is superior position. Let's say a character doesn't know they're asleep in this area of their life. But as the viewer, we know. Through maybe test results that came back from the doctor, that somebody opened up the mail and left on the table, and us as the viewer has seen it. We know what this character is going through, but the character doesn't know. This is called superior position. It is like knowing something that the characters do not know. And by doing this, and by knowing something the characters don't even know, we can show them the struggle that occurs without many of us even knowing, and therefore provoking your viewers to take a look at themselves and create voluntary change based on, wow, am I asleep in any area of my life? Am I struggling in an area that I don't even know I'm struggling in? That's powerful. Superior position. Now the last tool is called quarter model comparison. When you take a quarter and place it next to something, it gives the viewer the understanding of how big that thing is next to the quarter because they know how big the quarter is. I know what this is, so that shows your viewer what this is. A pair of headlights coming around the corner and driving past. Now another pair of headlights come around the corner and stop and start to levitate off the ground. You know and thought it was supposed to be something, but what is it? Why is it levitating? Shouldn't it be a car? Without that first car driving past, you might not have that contrast to know what it should have been. Understand why you do what you do. Discover that. Surpass your expectations for what every step can bring you. Bring a level of fulfillment that you never knew existed into your life, into your business. Set yourself apart from other businesses. Don't compete through commodity. Set yourself apart by being the most unique thing in the universe. You, your experiences, and let that seep out authenticity, push out cliche, separate you from every other business trying to do what you do, because nobody can be you or even pretend to be you. Cut through all the noise by not manipulating and trying to get people to buy into your company. Be the change you want to see in the world. Show people what you want to do by putting the information you want to give them into context so they can voluntarily change and ultimately support your business because you've articulated a feeling that they can't articulate. And they can point to you to say, that's what I believe. I spent my whole life tired without knowing it. But I always had this desire to create a vibe and a feeling. I think it's purely because when you're tired, you have a hard time feeling. There's more of me pre-waking up out there that we need to get your message to wake them up to why it is that you do what you do and show them that there's so much more beauty in life than they even realize. Help to articulate the feelings that they have trapped inside of them, and you'll tap into something that can change the world, change lives. But we can have that peace and not achieve what we want to achieve if we don't go about showing people and not telling them. Till next time.